hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Good morning and welcome to the second edition of Business Splash for the week. In this package, we have for you stories on financial reforms, bilateral trade, oil and gas, petroleum industry bill, pensions, as well as some stock reports. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. Good morning. On the headlines, federal government rejects generalized approach to financial reforms. Franco-Nigeria bilateral trade drops by $2.2 billion in 2020. Governor Diri tasks House of Representatives on PIB, says Niger Delta needs cleanup. Ekiti State government releases 250 million naira for pensions. And those were the headlines. Details in just a moment. And now the news in detail. The federal government has rejected a generalized approach for financial reform initiatives in Nigeria, stressing that the two rather prefer specific measures to reform the country's financial management system. Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, made this public in Abuja while playing host to the partners of Ernst & Young in his office led by the adversary leader, West Africa, Ben Afudego. Idris lauded the credentials of EY Consulting and stated that the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation was open to value addition and with the firm on financial reforms but advised against a generalized approach. Idris, whose office anchored the federal government's financial management reforms, noted that the overall success of the initiatives was hinged on implementation of result-oriented ideas. He called on stakeholders that could add value to the government's efforts to come up and further advocated for strong collaboration between some Treasury departments and EY Consulting to drive government reforms with the application of technology. France has announced that its volume of trade with Nigeria in year 2020 dropped to $2.3 billion from $4.5 billion in 2019 as a result of COVID-19. The French minister in charge of foreign trade and attractiveness, Mr. Frank Rister, disclosed this at a meeting he held with the Nigeria Governors Forum and GF in Abuja as part of his two-day official visit to Nigeria. Rister added that the French government wanted to help in the development of different states by investing in both the private and public sectors so as to deepen the relationship between the two countries. It said that as the largest economy in Africa and the economic engine room of West Africa, Nigeria is indeed a major partner for France. The minister said that the French government was also putting in place measures that will allow more Nigerian companies to operate and invest in France. The chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, commended the French government for its interest in Nigeria, especially in the states of the Federation. And now to the oil-rich Bayelsa State, the governor there, Doye Diri, has called on members of the House of Representatives to expedite action on the passage of Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, as it will correct some of the injustices faced by oil-producing states. Governor Diri made the call when members of the House Committee on Oil Spill Investigation, Cleanup and Remediation in Oil-Producing States visited him at the government house, Yenagoa. He said that PIB, when passed into law, would be an avenue to correct some of the wrongs of oil companies in host communities. Added that the bill had been neglected for long by the National Assembly. Diri said that the people of Niger Delta had suffered so much in terms of environmental degradation and pollution of water bodies, leading to increase in cases of cancer and other strange ailments. He queried the standards applied by oil firms in their operations in the zone compared with other parts of the world. The governor expressed the optimism that the report of the committee will bring succor to to people of the zone if implemented. And fuel scarcity has resurfaced in Kano, metropolitan areas and some local government areas of the state, as most filling stations remained closed since Monday in anticipation of fuel price increase. Investigation revealed that most of the filling stations had remained shut, while the few that sold the commodity were besieged by a long queue of vehicles. The investigation showed that the fuel markets were having a field day in most of the local government areas located outside of the state capital. Some of the filling stations owned by the independent petrol marketers preferred to sell the commodity to black marketers in order to maximize profit, though the pump price had not been increased. The Ekiti state government has released 250 million naira for the payment of outstanding pensions to an additional set of 86 retirees in the state. The amount is part of the monthly releases by the Governor Kayode Fayemi's administration for the settlement of outstanding retirement benefits for pensioners. The acting executive secretary, Ekiti Pension Transitional Arrangement Department, PTAD, Mr. Francis Omotosho, made this known at a news conference in Ado-Ekiti. According to Omotosho, the 250 million naira will be used to offset the outstanding balance of pension for May and June. He said that the earlier proposed scheme aimed at further paying the backlog of retirees' gratuities through a negotiated discount process had been jettisoned. In her remarks, the state head of service, Mrs. Peju Babafemi, advised the affected pensioners to be prudent with their resources and expend them on veritable ventures that will improve their lives. The monthly financial and operations report of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has revealed decrease in activities of oil pipeline vandals in January this year. Pipeline vandalism had been a major act of sabotage in the nation's oil industry. From January 2019 to September 2020, as much as 1,161 pipeline points across the country were vandalized. Repairing and maintaining the vandalized points cost the country about 60 billion naira annually. NNPC had earlier said that an average of 200,000 barrels per day of crude oil were usually lost to vandals. The monthly financial and operations report released yesterday showed that cases of vandalism declined by 37.21% across the country in January 2021. According to the report, a total of 27 pipeline points were vandalized in January 2021, down from 43 points recorded in December 2020. NNPC, which said it was working in collaboration with local communities with other stakeholders to reduce eventually eliminate the menace, revealed that Mosimi area accounted for 74% of the vandalized points, while Kaduna area and Port Harcourt area accounted for the remaining 22% and 4%. Well, that's it on Business Splash for today. We thank you for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. Do join us on Friday for another edition of Business Splash. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. Good morning and thank you for listening.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot